What's up, my fellow otaku? It's Kai here, and welcome back to my channel. Think you've seen it all? In a world full of trending anime, hidden gems slip through the crack season after season, and I'm here to uncover them all. A little over a year ago, I dropped my first viral YouTube full-length video, and it was my top 10 best underrated anime to watch. And since then, I've done tons of specific genre-based versions of these. I mean, a ton. And now I'm back to doing a general, no genre-bound version of this, so we'll call this a top 10 best underrated anime to watch part 2. And the fun part, I want to see how many of these you guys have seen, because even the seasoned veterans, I'm hoping, haven't seen at least one on this list. And with that, let's go ahead and get into the video. First up is an anime that actually was nominated for Anime of the Year back in the 2022-2023 run, but is surprisingly criminally underrated. Ranking of the Kings tells the heartfelt story of Boji, a deaf, mute, and incredibly weak prince, who despite his limitations embarks on a journey with his shadowy companion Kage, who has an equally sad backstory. With its storybook style animation, which I absolutely adore, okay? You guys know I love anime with unique art styles. It blends that bookish fairy tale charm with a surprisingly deep and dark narrative, tackling themes like assassination, generational trauma, betrayal, and overcoming one's weaknesses. And together on their journey, they must work to make Boji strong enough to pass the Ranking of the Kings. The Ranking of the Kings is an actual system which measures a king's leadership, strength, and overall influence of rulers all across the land, a standard that Boji is very, very far from meeting. And along the way, they meet a cast of unforgettable side characters like Domas, a loyal and protective warrior, who each add their own depth, heart, and even a little bit of humor. What makes this anime so special isn't just watching Boji and Kage turn their vulnerabilities into their greatest strengths, or seeing two lost souls find each other. It's the way it delivers an emotional gut punch,
emotional damage,
while offering a fresh, unique take on a historical adventure. Honestly, I'm not really sure why this one is underrated, especially since it was nominated for an award, but if you're looking for an anime that will make you cheer, cry, and reflect all at once, then Ranking of the Kings is one you certainly should not miss. Next up is an anime that I watched very recently, and if you're in the Discord, you would not be shocked by this one, and it is I have to read the title because it's so long. The Seventh Time Loop. The villainess enjoys a carefree life married to her worst enemy. Okay. And unfortunately, it's likely to get a full anime adaptation, but that shouldn't stop you from enjoying it nonetheless. In a market flooded with reincarnation and villainess-themed anime and manhwa, webtoons, whatever you want, okay, this one still somehow manages to have a unique charm to it. The story follows Duchess Riche Weitzner, who is trapped in a time loop. This time loop begins every single time with her fiancé and prince breaking off their engagement, forcing her to leave her current life and explore new avenues. And she does anything from being a doctor to a traveling salesman to even a knight, okay? And each life provides a new perspective and skill to bring into her current life, because no matter what, at the age of 20, she always finds herself dead due to a war caused by her now fiancé. Spassy.
What the hell is that?
Anyway, while the plot might sound familiar, at first glance, the anime shines by leaning into Rishi's experiences rather than just her circumstance. She's competent, smart, and determined, and she really just appreciates every single moment in her life and lives it without regrets, which I really appreciate because I love a competent female MC. Okay? And what makes it even more compelling is her relationship with Prince Arnold, a dark, charming, and incredibly handsome man who falls in love with her at first sight. And as we learn, despite him being a villain in the other lives, he is quite layered.
like onions.
They stink?
Yes. No.
Oh, they make you cry?
No.
Oh, you leave them out in the sun, they get all brown, start sprouting little white hairs.
No. Layers. Onions have layers. Ogres have layers.
And unlike other rom-coms, this series emphasizes maturity, competence, and a slow burn romance built on mutual respect, rather than a quick sort of romance that feels like it kind of comes out of left field. So, if you love deep, meaningful romances with a capable female leads and a little bit of reincarnation twist that you've probably seen before,
Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
Seventh Time Loop Villainess is one romance anime you won't want to miss. Switching things up a bit, let's talk about another anime which I thought was surely going to be a hit when it aired in 2021, and that is Life Lessons with Uramichi Onisan. Honestly, I still don't know why more people don't talk about this or why it never became popular, but if you're into anime like Seki K or Mr. Villain's Day Off, then you'll definitely love this one. This comedy follows 31-year-old Uramichi Omada, a former gymnast who, despite being jaded and disillusioned with adult life, who hosts the popular kids exercise TV show Together with Maman. What makes the show stand out is the brilliant contrast between Uramichi's cynical, exhausted inner life and his overly cheerful show persona. His so-called life lessons for kids are actually bleakly honest quips about depression, aging, and the crushing realities of adulthood, because everyone's dreams die there. And it's all delivered with a quite heavily forced smile. The humor is absurd, deadpan, and painfully relatable, tackling adult themes in a way that's both hilarious and darkly satirical, which is probably something you guys will relate to since my audience is closer to my age and the upper 20s and 30s, okay?
I'm 37. What? I'm 37, I'm not old.
And it's not just Uramichi who shines. Coupled with a lot of the actual show, we do get behind the scenes of other side characters and actors who are stuck in ridiculous costumes and are also forced to give up their childhood dreams to do this sort of job. And this all just sort of amplifies the satire of the show. It's funny, it's biting, and somehow it manages to be oddly comforting. A show that makes you laugh, wince, and reflect all at once. So if you enjoy dark humor mixed with existential dread, or you're just looking for a nice comedy that goes by pretty quickly, then Life Lessons with Uramichi Onisan is definitely one underrated anime you should watch. Maybe romance or comedy isn't really your style. If that's the case, this next one is for you. Another anime from 2021, and it is Odd Taxi, a crime fiction and mystery anime that follows Otokawa, a grumpy middle-aged walrus taxi driver navigating a noir-style Tokyo. On the surface, his life seems very mundane, but he soon becomes entangled in a missing girls case that pulls his eccentric passengers, creating a complex web of criminal activity, personal struggles, and dark secrets. What makes Odd Taxi so compelling is its world. Bizarre yet familiar, populated by animal characters that feel whimsical and serve as a mask for a gritty, realistic narrative filled with ambition, lies, and hidden motives. And the story unfolds through multiple perspectives with dialogue packed full of subtle foreshadowing. By the time everything comes together, you really realize how tightly woven this narrative is. There's no throwaway lines, and every odd character has a purpose. And Otokawa himself is not exempt from these oddities. He struggles with insomnia and some other brain disorder, which I don't want to spoil, and even becomes a suspect in the girl's disappearance himself, making him an unreliable narrator. The only reason this gem might be underrated is perhaps due to the animal character designs, which I know turn some people off. But don't let that fool you, because that too has a purpose.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
Beneath the surface, it's a meticulously crafted mystery thriller with suspense, humor, and depth. It's an easy, bingeable watch in one night, so if you're looking for a unique, tightly plotted anime with noir vibes and smart storytelling, something akin to okay, Odd Taxi is a hidden, underrated gem you don't want to miss. If you're a fan of the rightfully popular Apothecary Diaries, then this next one is for you. And since I only talked about this in a short with no plot context, I'm including this despite my hope to not include any anime I've talked about before.
I'm failing!
And this one is Raven of the Inner Palace. The story follows Shue, I'm sorry if I butchered the pronunciation, the enigmatic Raven consort who is isolated in the Inner Palace and is only used by young Emperor Koshan for her mystic arts. Though this doesn't stop him from falling in love with her, the more and more he goes to her for help, despite what everybody tells him, because the Raven consort is sort of a taboo, isolationist position in the palace. I don't know how else to describe that. And he seeks her help for many supernatural things, from communicating with the spirits, to laying a curse, to even finding lost objects, in a sort of mystery of the week style. But in doing so, a deep conspiracy tied to the Emperor's family and the origins of the Raven Consort's power are unraveled, which sets the stage for a historical mystery full of royal intrigue, spiritual mystery, and Shuei's pursuit of freedom, all with a slow burn romance. And I will say the romance is a little bit more forefront than Apothecary Diaries.
I get the sentiment, but do you have to be so creepy about it?
Which I said is very similar to. Like Apothecary Diaries, it blends a clever, capable female MC with a royal, slow burn romance, but instead of science, we have a supernatural ability, giving the story its own distinct and unique flavor. It's also slightly darker in tone, and it has a more Donghua-inspired art style, similar to Yatagarasu, another anime I've recommended recently. Lastly, Shuei's position in the palace also sets it apart from its counterpart anime Apothecary Diaries.
You don't say.
Making it visually and thematically a unique experience. What really makes Raven of the Inner Palace stand out is its atmosphere. The pacing is deliberate and meditative, allowing you to sink the weight of palace history and the loneliness of the Raven Consort's role within the palace. Ghost story elements are balanced with a tender exploration of duty, grief, and identity, using quiet conversations, ritual, and subtle gestures to build tension in the story. Every episode, we get to discover more and more about the Emperor, the Raven Consort, and peel back more layers on the mystery, on the conspiracy. If you love Apothecary Diaries, or are looking for an underrated anime that masterfully blends historical intrigue, supernatural mystery, and character-driven drama, then Raven of the Inner Palace is one underrated gem you shouldn't miss. If you're looking for an anime where romance sort of takes more center stage, then this next one might be for you. Sugar Apple Fairy Tale is a newer anime watch of mine that has quickly become one of my favorite. The story follows Anne Halford, a determined sugar artisan who wants to become a silver sugar master in a male-dominated field to honor her mother.
I am your mother!
So sweet. But the world she navigates is far from simple. In this vibrant, beautifully rendered fantasy, fairies are enslaved, adding layers of intrigue and danger to her journey. On her way to the capital to compete for the Silver Sugar Master title, Anne purchases a warrior fairy named Shaw as her bodyguard, who is a beautifully enigmatic fairy who despises humans. What sets Sugar Apple Fairy Tale apart from other romance fantasies is how it balances sweetness with a darker undertone. The series doesn't shy away from the cruelty of the world, fairy slavery, betrayal, and the challenges of chasing a dream. Yet it also delivers moments of warmth, hope, and tender connection. And for those of you who know me, you know I love culinary anime. So seeing culinary artistry woven into a fantastical fairy tale is a total win-win in my book. The only reason I can see that this is underrated is because it's a romance anime in a shonen-dominated field, which now that I think about, do I have any shonen in this recommendation list? I don't know. But if you're looking for a fantasy romance that's an easy watch but also has a lot of layer, it has slow burn romance and fairy tale charm, bittersweet drama against the backdrop of danger and prejudice, Sugar Apple Fairy Tale is one romance anime that is so underrated. You don't want to be one of the ones who haven't watched it. Back to comedy, we have an anime that I absolutely love from 2018, and that's Hinamatsuri. This supernatural comedy is reminiscent of series like Saiki K and Spy Family, and it follows Nita, a Yakuza member whose life is thrown into chaos when he unexpectedly becomes the guardian of Hina, a powerful telekinetic girl from the future.
You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
Each day brings increasingly absurd situations, making for hilarious, unpredictable slice-of-life comedy. But what could have been a simple one-joke premise evolves into a heartfelt story about family, responsibility, and belonging. The clean, expressive art style perfectly balances and complements the blend of comedy and emotion. What makes Hinamatsuri stand out from other comedy animes is how it balances over-the-top humor with genuine emotional weight. You'll laugh at psychic battles destroying apartments or Hina using her powers to avoid chores, but the show also delivers surprisingly tender subplots. Characters like Anzu, another character, Psychic Girl, who ends up homeless, provide some of the most moving arcs in the show about kindness, survival, and chosen family. Hinamatsuri is unafraid to shift from outrageous comedy to touching slice-of-life moments, making the emotional beats land even harder. If you're looking for a comedy that's equal parts hilarious and heartwarming, Hinamatsuri is one underrated anime you can't miss. Now let's dive into something darker, grittier, bloodier, and gorier, and also simultaneously completely unforgettable. Dorohedoro. This 2020 anime follows Kaimen, a man with a lizard's head, as he hunts down the sorcerer who cursed him, alongside his best friend, the mysterious and super strong Nikaido. Together, they navigate the grim human city known as the Hole, and the mysteriously twisted sorcerer realm, all while trying to recover his memory and regain his normal face, which we don't know what it looks like. Dorohedoro is a dark fantasy masterpiece that blends horror, action, and absurd dark humor into an emotionally satisfying story. Its world is populated by morally ambiguous, richly developed characters with bizarre yet memorable designs, from sadistic sorcerers to quirky street punks. The art style actually enhances the gritty, chaotic atmosphere, even though it's not conventional, perfectly reflecting a world defined by revenge, friendship, and unexpected bonds. Unfortunately, the heavy use of CGI, which we know I'm not the biggest fan of, and the exclusivity of it being on Netflix probably is the reason why it's so underrated, despite it being such a good story, and also why I will watch it even though I don't like the CGI that much.
Those motherfuckers!
Despite this, the anime's creativity shines through in its unique powers, ranging from grotesque mushroom magic to time-traveling abilities, making every encounter unpredictable and thrilling. Its combination of ultra-violence, humor, and heartfelt moments creates a one-of-a-kind experience that lingers and makes you wanting more. For anyone seeking a bold, gory, and truly unique anime, Dorohedoro is a hidden gem you absolutely cannot miss, and Season 2 is currently in production, so why not pick it up now so you can be ready to watch Season 2 when it finally airs in hopefully 2026.
Slowing things down again.
We have another Netflix anime, Blue Period. This is one of the most emotionally raw and inspiring coming-of-age stories, especially for anyone fascinated by self-discovery and the challenges of being an artist.
Wait, is this fucking play about us?
The series follows Yadara Yagoichi, a smart but aimless high school student who coasts through life doing just enough to get by and spending most of his free time partying. However, everything changes one time when he stumbles into art club and is swept away by the transformative power of painting. For the very first time, he feels true passion. But with that passion comes fear, self-doubt, and the harsh reality of chasing a dream as competitive as getting into art school. What makes Blue Period stand out is its honesty. It doesn't romanticize following your dreams whatsoever. It's not whimsical or carefree. Instead, it dives deep into the insecurities, frustrations, and sacrifices that come with dedicating yourself to creative work. The series emphasizes that art isn't just about talent. It's about learning, failing, and expressing yourself honestly, even when it's terrifying. And I think all of the side characters work really well to further emphasize this point. Its expressive art style perfectly captures Yadara's evolving perspective, making each moment of growth feel palatable. So if you love grounded, emotionally resonant anime like March Comes In Like a Lion or Your Lie in April, then Blue Period is one underrated gem you don't want to miss. Last but certainly not least is a completed anime much like Spy Family, which blends action and family dynamics, Buddy Daddies. The series follows rival assassins Kazuki Kurusu and Rei Suwa, who unexpectedly find themselves caring for a 4-year-old girl named Miri after she wanders into a firefight while they are eliminating her mafia boss father. Suddenly, their high-stakes professional lives collide with preschool schedules, mealtime meltdowns, and all of the chaos of raising a toddler, creating hilariously absurd moments. On the surface, it might seem like another Hitman meets kid trope, but Buddy Daddies is much smarter than that. Kazuki and Rei aren't just quirky assassins, they're morally complex with pasts that gradually get revealed on why they do what they do. Their interactions with Miri bring out their softer, more human side, forming a believable and emotionally rich found family dynamic that balances perfectly with their chaos of their violent work. The art style is crisp and stylish with fluid action sequences that seamlessly complement the dark humor and tender moments. Honestly, and this might be a little bit controversial, I actually prefer it to Spy Family. It feels more complete and significantly deeper. But if you do enjoy stories like Spy Family, or the morally complex duos in Banana Fish, then Buddy Daddies is certainly an underrated anime you don't want to miss, especially if you're looking for a quick and completed story. I absolutely do love the ending. It's very cute, and I do want more even though it's complete. And with that, there are 10 more absolutely underrated anime that you need to watch. And again, if you're wondering where your favorite underrated anime is, well, chances are I've probably already talked about it. So if you enjoyed this video and want more, feel free to check out this playlist right here. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Also, let me know down in the comments down below how many you've seen from this video. Okay, bye!